Mayo weekend. We know Canelo fights Cinco de Mayo weekend. He came off of a victory versus John Ryder. Before I ask you how you think he looked, do you remember how you scored it or not necessarily? I know you watched it out, so you might have not had the pen and the paper like me.
Yeah, I didn't really. I was just going round by round. I definitely didn't have it 120 to 107. I definitely didn't have like
that was wild because that's a shutout.
Yeah, that was
a shutout with a knockdown.
Yeah, exactly. I would definitely not. But I definitely gave Ryder a few rounds. But I think Canelo won. He won that fight clearly.
So I think Canelo also won the fight clearly. I had it 116, 111. I gave Canelo 8 rounds. But coming into 10, 11, and 12, though, I had Canelo up big, right? So I had him up 7-2. And then I gave Ryder 2 of the last 3 rounds. Canelo looked kind of gassed in my opinion. So I gave Ryder 2 of the so he kind of climbed his way to 4 rounds for me. You know what I'm saying? But still, that's a decisive victory if you win 8 rounds and you knock someone down, right? But I'm hearing a lot of Canelo's lost a step. He doesn't look like the Canelo of old. What was your perception on the performance?
I mean, Ryder's a tough mofo. Like, he a tough motherfucker, bro, because he got his nose damaged. I believe it was the 3rd round.
Early.
Got his nose broken or probably damaged, and it got broken even further as the fight progressed. Yeah. But nevertheless, he's bloodied up, and he continued to fight. Got dropped, I believe, in the 5th round. He got dropped. Almost stumbled again. Almost got dropped again in the 8th round.
Yeah.
And he just kept, especially as the rounds progressed, he still had fight in him. He had grit. So I don't know if it speaks more volume to Ryder as opposed to Canelo. That's the part I'm in between. But if I'm being honest, Canelo, I was not impressed by Canelo's performance. Canelo was just going in there, winding up shots, just throwing one shot at a time, 1-2s, not throwing combinations at all, and then started gassing out. It's very similar to the B-ball fight. So I can see why fans and the media are saying, Canelo is looking a bit older. And he's not really old because he's still 32 years old, but he has so much mileage.
60 plus
so much mileage on his body. You got all that sparring. You got all that road work. You got all the fights he has. Like you mentioned, 60 plus fights? Man, that's a lot. And when it starts to show now, that means it's probably time to really start looking at your retirement plan, So, but we'll see.
Yeah. So for me, I don't want to overreact because he didn't stop Ryder. I'm cool with that because, like I said, he clearly won the fight, right? But there were some things that I noticed. Of course, he looked like he gassed out towards the end of the fight again, which is seeming to become like a repeat occurrence with Canelo. So that's cause for pause there. But I'm kind of surprised at how much he got hit.
Yeah,
Ryder didn't really pack any crazy punch. Even though one time at the end it looked like he stumbled Canelo a little bit, but mostly it was the uppercut that was just snapping Canelo's head back throughout the fight. And it's like a lot of times when Canelo seemingly had him in trouble, Ryder's defense became his offense. He would just kind of boom, boom, boom,
land combinations. Yeah, he'll fight back.
Yeah, he would fight back. Like you said, he was really tough. And even the shot that bloodied his nose, I don't even know if it landed clean, but a lot of times Canelo, like Ryder, he was holding the phone. But a lot of times Canelo just punched right through it, and some of it came around. But a lot of times it's like he was almost hitting Ryder's own hand into his face. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it was like the 2 straight that really bloodied his nose right through the guard. Boom.
Yeah. So, as far as how I assess his performance, to be honest, I knew he was going to beat Ryder. I'm only really watching Canelo to assess how I think he's going to do against the guys that I really want to see him fight. Right? Like based on the things I seen last night. Would he have trouble with Benavidez? You know what I'm saying? Would he have trouble with a rematch with Bivol? Even though I don't really want to see that rematch, I'm not interested in that rematch. I think I would like to see Canelo at 168. I would say fight Benavidez because you might be right. There's a lot of mileage on his body. Maybe one more great performance and then go out because you did a lot for boxing. You know what I'm saying? Hall of Famer, of course.
Right.
Yeah, but. Yeah, at times he seemed a bit lazy. It was kind of the same punches. I don't know if he didn't respect his opponent. He just thought, if I do this, I'm gonna get him out of here. Or maybe Ryder's better than we thought. That's always an option. This person's always can be better than you thought. Similar to what I think about Lomachenko, Jermaine Ortiz, right?
Right.
But
And not, sorry to cut you off, but he did mention that he wanted to, because it was the day after Cinco de Mayo weekend, he wanted to make it a fight. So he did want to go in there, but him going in there to make it a fight, he just didn't throw enough for me. He just didn't capitalize on opportunities and getting right out of there, you know? Well, go ahead.
yeah. But now, as far as him getting tired again towards the end of the fight, right? And then we just saw, I kind of want to, deal with Benavidez for a second. We kind of seen Benavidez versus Plant look like he got stronger as the fight went on.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And all the clinching and coming out the clinches, he came out stronger and faster. Do you think that would be a problem if he fights Canelo?
I'll tell you this. If that was Benavidez in front of Canelo last night, Benavidez is liable to stop Canelo.
Oh.
He's liable to stop Canelo because of the onslaught. Them one punches at a time, and then getting hit with those uppercuts. He's basically tailor-made for Benavidez. Benavidez stole those uppercuts in the pocket. He'd have been, oh my God, Benavidez would have had a field day.
Yeah, and in boxing, I usually don't like to do if this person beats that person, then that person can beat that person. But like I said, it's just like the things, like you said, the uppercut is such a great weapon to Benavidez, and just to see how consistently it was landing last night, it makes me feel like, Benavidez can have success with that. Of course, Plant did start off outboxing Benavidez, so maybe Canelo could have some success there. But like, I don't know, he doesn't look as like 154 Canelo with all the movement and then a lot of head
agile.
movement.
He's not as agile as Caleb Plant either. Caleb Plant moves a lot more, and if you know boxing, if you move around a lot more in the ring and you're more defensive minded, you're gonna exert a lot more energy. And the way Canelo's gassing out, he might not even last 12 rounds if you start moving like that.
Yeah. So I think if he called out Bivol, right? He called because
he says he wants that fight with Bivol.
Once the fight ended, I started like running around the crib and doing some stuff, but I don't want it. How do you feel about him fighting Bivol again?
I'm not interested. I'm gonna be honest. It's just right. And Bivol even mentioned that he was willing to go down to 168 pounds and fight for all the belts. I'm not sure if Canelo's going to. Canelo actually responded and said the fans will be upset and make an excuse and say that he'll be weight drained. But then again, you can argue Canelo may not want to lose all his belts to Bivol at 168 as well.
Yes. I would say, man, maybe do another, because I think they said 50,000 was there in Mexico. Do another Mexican event, fight David Benavidez. Maybe it's your send-off, you know what I'm saying? And not just because he's been calling for the fight for so long, just because I don't know who's better at 168 right now. You know what I'm saying? I don't think David Morrell's better than David Benavidez. So I would say, whatever you got left in the tank, put it up, fight Benavidez, maybe have a great send-off. You had an amazing career, Canelo. But it does look like the mileage is starting to catch up to him. I can definitely agree there.
Yeah.